Hey everybody, Brian here. Today is Wednesday, the 3rd of January. Today there was a rumor that the FDA is maybe looking to reclassify marijuana. So some of the pot stocks started going. I figure I'll take a look at the list of stocks that I have. I have a list of 28 stocks. They'll trade at least 500,000 shares a day on average. So let's take a look and see if there's any opportunities. ACB, this is how quickly I go through them. One, it's a 48-cent stock. Two, it's below a declining 200-day moving average. Below a 5-day moving average, declining, no interest. AVT, this one kind of just looks like it does a whole bunch of nothing back and forth here on this weekly time frame. You've got to consider this is last year's anchor, so that's the beginning of 2023. It's pulled back here the last few days with the rest of the market. Doesn't look like it's really probably a pure play on weed, so no interest in that one. No interest in CBSTF, below the 200-day moving average with a declining 50-day moving average, not likely to follow through if it does do anything. Same with CGC, still just garbage down here. CRLBF, no interest in that one for the same reasons. Declining 200-day moving average, declining 50-day moving average. Chronos, CRON, this one looks maybe worth jotting down. I would say if you were to rank these A, B, and C, this might be a B list. One thing is it's just rallied from 185 to 220, so it's had a good little percentage run. I wouldn't buy it up here. I'd like to see it settle down first, but that maybe in the coming weeks if this one, if the weed stocks do get some follow through. CURLF, here's the average daily volume, by the way, 608,000 shares. You can see it on all those. We're holding above the anchor from that peak. That's good. The 50-day moving average is curling up. The 200 is curling up. It's right at 420. All the weed hounds like that. So CURLF. I like this one. That would be a B list idea, something I would maybe consider for trading on Thursday, tomorrow. ENR, below a declining 200-day and 50-day moving average, no interest in that one. GRWG, same story, below those key moving averages, no interest in those. GBTIF, this one's somewhat interesting. Average volume is a little on the light side, 445,000 shares. But that would be a B list idea. So this is the first time I'm going through these today, by the way. So I'm just looking at these and telling you what I think right away. Where this 5-day moving average is declining, in a few days it'll start to flatten out. So that's a B list idea, I'd say. Average volume, like I said, just a little bit on the light side. GHTX, probably a C list idea. IIPR, this one the volume isn't as good. It's actually on the lighter of them all. They are a REIT that does weed warehouses and stuff. MAPS, no interest in this one. Below declining 50 and 200-day moving average. MJ, this is an ETF. It's stuck right at that year-to-date, last year's anchored volume-weighted average price. Keeps hammering away at it. It's got some higher lows. The 50-day moving average is curling higher. If we did this, we could say, where did we start? Where were we 200 days ago? So we're getting rid of this data over the next couple of weeks. So that means that 200-day moving average will start to flatten out. So this would be maybe a B list idea on MJ. MMND, this one just kind of looks stuck in here. It's up against this prior important level where this was resistance, turned support back to maybe resistance. Not much potential there. This one just looks like it's left for dead and continues to drive lower, so no interest in that one. MSOS, this is one I had previously been talking about today. That's why there's some markups over there. I'll erase those. But this one, you can see we're above the anchored volume-weighted average price from last year. That's good. We're above this year's anchor. That's the green line. We're above the 5-day moving average. Where were we 5 days ago? Well, let's take a look again at where that began. So in the next day or two, we get rid of this data. So what I'd really like to see in here is maybe a little bit of a pullback down towards that 5-day moving average, then rally in a day or two. So this would be an A/B list. I like this one the best. The 50-day moving average is rising. The 200-day moving average is flattened out and will begin to rise. If we take a look at the anchor off of this peak, we're above that. That's nice to see. So that one I think has the most potential. We're on number 18 right now of 28. MVST below, it's got a declining 50 and 200-day moving average, no interest. OGI, same story, declining 50-day, 200-day moving average. This is where we were 200 days ago, so it's going to be declining for a while, which means I won't trust rally attempts there. No interest. SMG, these are more picks and shovels. This is Scott's Miracle Grow. It just doesn't look like it's really, it's run too far in the last couple months anyways, 45 to 65. Probably needs to settle down more. Sundial, this one, this is a good one for a C list idea. This one can get going pretty good when it gets going. 3.7 million shares per day. It's right up against last year's anchor. The 200-day moving average is flattening out. You can see this is where we were 200 days ago. So that will remain flat. The 50-day moving average, let's just put that on there as well and say, where were we 50 days ago? Well, that 50-day moving average, that's why it's rising, because we're just getting rid of this data here the last couple days. So we've got a rising 50 and 200-day moving average, the 5-day moving average. So this one, so far, I think I like, we'll wrap it up at the end. TCCF, this one just kind of looks neutral, maybe a C list idea. TILRAY, everyone likes this name, but it really doesn't look very compelling to me. This would maybe be a C list idea. If the group goes nuts, then there's probably a trade in there. VFF, nothing going on in here. It just looks neutral. I mean, it could get squeezed above this level if the market, if the weed stocks really do go. But then we've got last year's anchor right up in there. So I don't think there's probably enough upside to really justify it. VRNOF, this one looks interesting. 425,000 shares average daily volume. And you can tell it's pink sheets because it's traded in 3 decimals. So that means, or bulletin board. So the liquidity isn't going to be great in these things, even with, and there you go, 425,000 shares too. So this would be a C list idea. I like the chart, but it's a C list idea because 3 digits after 3 decimal places. The VWAP just looks dead. No reason to be involved. Same with XXII, YCBD. It got going here at the last day of the year. So here's what we have. CRON, probably, like I said, I think a B list idea. CURLF, B or C list idea. A minus, B plus, I'd say. GTB. What is that? GBT. I can't read my writing. GTBLF. Let me just go IF. Okay. Volume is a little bit light. I like this chart though. If you get involved in these, stop goes under here, right? So that's the most important thing I didn't mention on the other ones. Kronos, your stop would probably go under this low right here. CURLF, stop, worst case stop would go under here. If they're going to go or they're not going to go, so no reason to hang around. MJ, again, if it can get back above this level right here, B minus list, worst case stop would go under here. And then SNDL, C list idea, stop under there. What did I say I liked the most was MSOS. Stop would go under here.